All right, hey, this is Khalid Nathan Aleem, the real estate boy. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to this awesome Tuesday. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 ideas that drive motivation. Why are you motivated to do the things that you do? Okay, so that's the life hack that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be jumping into, again, 5 ideas that drive motivation. Okay, motivation can kind of sometimes seem like a mysterious thing. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it isn't. That said, most people do have the motivation to get up and get out of bed every day and live life. Okay. So, but what exactly causes them to act like this? Today, I'm going to break down 5 theories behind that force that carries those towards their goal. Now, these are things that we want to learn because, again, it's motivation. Why are we doing the things that we're doing? If we know this, then maybe we'll be able to manipulate it for us to be motivated for things that maybe usually we're not motivated to do. Okay, so how do we get motivated? So again, these are 5 theories as far as what drives motivation. Okay, Kila. Number one is incentive. All right. This idea promotes that people do things to receive a reward. For example, you may be motivated to dress nicely at work because you think you'll be more likely to receive the reward of a promotion. The greater the reward, the more motivated you will be to pursue the path to it. Okay, so um, one path of motivation is incentive, and as a leader, you can also use this. Okay, what motivates people? People have different motivations, so you need to recognize what those motivations are. Okay, recognize what those motivations are so you can motivate the people. All right, so again, number one is incentive. A person does something and they get a reward. Now, I know this type of motivation is often short-lived, okay? Once that person gets that goal, then there's no more motivation, okay? And you got to keep on, I guess, supplying this incentive motivation. So, this is a quick fix. To me, my opinion, being motivated by incentives is a quick fix. All right. The people get the incentive and then the motivation stops. And somebody might say it's a very superficial motivation. All right. Again, incentive. Number two is drive. It says the theory of drive based motivation suggests that people do things to meet internal forces that they implement toward a particular course of action. For example, if your body needs more salt, you may develop a craving for salty foods. So, drive base is something internally. Okay. So, according to this is going to propel you to do certain things because of things that are happening internal. So, if your body needs carbohydrates, okay, you'll start to want that spaghetti, or you'll start to want different hydrates. If your body needs salt, it's going to start to crave salt. Also, if a person maybe internally they need love, and you know they always talking about people jumping in and out of beds looking for love in the wrong places. Okay, so based on this theory, people are being driven by inner forces or internal forces or internal needs. Some people love drama. Okay, some people love drama, so they make stuff drama because they need it. They're craving it. These people you need to watch out for. Number one, okay, but you need to recognize this. What is driving people? Okay, so number one, we have incentive, and again, these are all theories. All right, number one is incentive. Number two is drive, or meaning an internal drive. Okay, there's something that's within the person that's driving them to do whatever they're doing. All right. Number three is arousal. Okay. It says this doesn't refer to just sex, but to all types of excitement and energy. When you're feeling low on a spectrum, you may be motivated to add some excitement to your life with something like an action movie or a jog or even an argument. When you need to balance out your day with relaxation, you could be more motivated to read a book or drink something like a smooth tea or something like that. So, arousal. One arousal for me, and I'm opening my book a little bit. One arousal for me at night right now, and I gotta really kick this habit, is peanut butter and coffee, or no, peanut butter and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and coffee. I know it's bad for me, but it arouses my endorphins. I forgot what those endorphins are called, but the sugar makes me feel good. Okay, it smooths me out and allows me to coast to going to sleep. All right, so another driving motivation force is arousal. All right, getting the person excited or making their energy flow. And you can use this when you have a team and you want to excite them. Maybe you have some type of party, or maybe you have some type of event or activity where it's arousing them. Okay, so when we're talking about drivers of motivation, we talked about incentive, we talked about drive, the inner drive, and we also talked about arousal. Number four is humanism. All right, humanism. We are not robots, but rather complex creatures with layers of thought, desire, and feelings. Okay. Humanistic drives relates to the hierarchy of needs proposed by psychologist John Maslow. While things like water, food, and shelter are basic needs that must be met, people also have more intangible needs to fulfill, like self actualization, creative expression, and loving relationships. Okay. So, this is what this guy is saying right here is just being human. Okay. Just being human. We're not robots. So, there are some basic needs that we have, like, and according to, I don't know if you guys know what the John Maslow triangle is, but to make a long story short, what he's saying is that, okay, if a person needs like shelter and food, and they really need these bases, according to him, before they can, I guess, go to the next level. I haven't reviewed it in a long time, but in essence, this is what it's saying: is that there are basic needs that a human needs, and then after that, they can go on to higher things. So, for example, if the person isn't safe or doesn't live in a safe place, he might not be thinking about memorizing Shakespeare poems. Okay, so what they're saying here is that there are people that there's some intangibles with them. Intangible meaning that you can't grab, that motivates them, like self-actualization. Okay, how the person sees themselves. This is what's motivating the person. The person is being motivated by how they see themselves. If they, and this is very important. This is super important, because if a person sees themselves as a bad person, then normally they may do things to make that true. If a person sees themselves as a good person, they'll do the things to make that true. Okay. So it starts where? It starts in your mind. How do you think about yourself? Okay. And that's why these self affirmations for a lot of people work, because now you have a container, which is your mind, and you're pouring good things in it. So yes, everything works out for me. Yes, I'm going to have a good day today. Yes, and I mean this is what self affirmations are. So these self affirmations seems to work for a lot of people. Why would they be working? Because people are seeing, or they're filling their mental up with good things. So their perspective, okay, and that's the number one thing here is their perspective is positive. So usually they go in a positive light. But if your perspective is negative, then usually you go in a negative way. Okay. So that's why we have to be very, very, very careful as far as what we put into our mental, what we see and what we hear. Okay. Number five is what's number five here? Expectancy. Okay. This theory circulates around the idea that people, in a way, can build their own future just by what they think about themselves and the world around them, and be motivated to act accordingly. For example, a person who feels good about themselves and confident about what they can achieve will be more motivated to pursue their goals, while someone who feels down and out will be less motivated. And we kind of just talked about that. We kind of just talked about that. As far as what does the person expect? What's their expectations? If they expect themselves to be a bad person, then usually they act in that manner. If they expect themselves to be a good person, then usually they act in that manner. So their expectation is motivating them. Okay. So let's go back and let's talk about again the 5 things that motivate people. And now we're going to talk about it as being a leader. Okay. If you're a leader of an organization or you're just a leader of your family, you should really understand about these motivations. Okay. Why is your wife doing what she's doing? Is it because you're giving her an allowance, or you're giving her some money? Okay. Is her and I'm only saying that because I'm a man, so I'm talking about a woman. Um, if what's her inner drive? Okay. Is she doing don't throw all the darts at me, okay? But is she doing this because it's that time of the month? Okay. That could be, somebody might say, that could be an inner drive, okay, for a person to do something because her hormones are out of whack. Is she acting in this way because um because of her hormones? And if it's a man on the other side, is that, if it's a woman and they're talking to a, or they're looking at a man, is the man doing this stuff because he's hungry? Okay. He may have had a hard day working hard, and he comes home and he might be blowing up because he's hungry. Okay. He just hasn't eaten all day. It's been a hard day. All right. Arousal. And again, arousal is all types of excitement and energy. So my child, when I'm taking him to the store, okay, is he being bad just because he's just out of control, or is it because he's so excited and he's just, and there's so many things going around him that he's just so excited that he can't handle himself. So it's too much arousal. It's too much stimulation. Okay. Also, you also have the humanism side. Okay. Is this person acting out maybe because their situation at home isn't good, so they really can't concentrate on work? And the reason why they can't concentrate on work is because they just had a disaster that happened at home. So as a leader, you got to be cognizant of these things. All right. And also expectation. What expectations does the person have of themselves? If you have somebody reporting to you, sit down with them and ask them, hey, what are your expectations? What are your expectations for me? And what are your expectations of yourself? Because trust me, if they talk about the expectations of themselves, they'll be more apt to achieve those expectations versus your expectations. So make sure you're combining your expectations with their expectations. All right. And even when you're speaking with your wife or your husband, find out what their expectations. How do they see themselves? And really get into it. How do you see yourself? And even when you're looking to marry somebody, how do you see yourself? Or how would you describe yourself? And it may be true, it may be close to reality, but also it might be far from reality, also. Okay. So you got to dig into these things to find out why people are motivated to do the things that they do. Because a lot of us, what we do is we take our own motivations and we put on somebody else. So we say, I would never do that because of ABC. Yeah, you would never do that because you are you. You're motivated by your drives. But what's motivating that other person? Why is that other person doing the things that they're doing? You got to step back and look at the big picture. Okay. Again, you got to step back and look at the big picture and say, okay. And once you can ascertain why this person, what's motivating this person, then you'll it's better. What's the word I'm looking for? You'll know how to handle that person. Because if your wife comes home and you know it's the time of the month, so you know the hormones are all out of whack, then you'll know, okay, there's really nothing that I can do. Okay, she's just tripping, and there's really nothing that I can do. All right. Um, Also, if you know that if you have a person that works for you and you know that they just had some tragic news that happened at home, then you know there's not really nothing that you can do about that, but maybe send them home, try to give them some comfort, see if there's anything that you can do, okay? And expect to see if you know what a person expects of themselves and it's not up to par, then you got to find a way to raise their expectation of themselves. You got to find a way. If you want them to perform at a certain level, then you have to raise their expectation. If not, their expectation is going to be what it is, and either you accept that or you don't. Okay, you either accept that or you don't. All right. So super important to understand what people's motivations are. When you understand their motivations, then people are a lot easier to deal with. All right, y'all. This is Khalid Nathan Aleem, and I do want y'all to know that check out www.regroundzero.com. Okay, what this is a group for anybody that wants to learn how to buy a home, if they want to learn how to invest in real estate, and if somebody wants to learn how to become a real estate agent. Okay, it's a group. It's kicking off this month, and it's totally free for this entire month. This entire month is going to be totally free. Sign up. We're going to have a book club, and we're also going to have weekly speakers that come on and just pour into you guys. And we're also what's the other thing oh, there's also a live chat, so we do have a live community so we can bounce things off of each other and we can all grow. Okay, and there's also going to be a question and answer session, so you can get in there and you can get all of your real estate and financial questions answered. Okay, all right, y'all. Again, this Real Estate Ground Zero. Watch out for the podcast. And if again to sign up, you go to www.regroundzero.com. All right, y'all. This is Khalid Nathan Aleem. I'm out.